Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing today? So basically, it has been a fair while since I put up any one in specific. I do apologise about this. I have been rather busy with personal life, and I have spent a week abroad recently. So I'm just catching up with things and getting things rolling again. Okay, so how are we going so far? Not too bad, and wow, that was pretty quick there, Tankadoom. How are you doing, dude? Yeah, so things are not going too badly. We do have the advance in Singapore going ahead, which is going to be ideally quick and fairly painless. Though I doubt that. Apparently we have some guns and AFVs over there. Would be sweet if we could catch those, at least disable them. There is a significant amount of troops at Singapore though, that is going to be a hellstorm. Not to mention the sheer amount of guns and the armoured fighting vehicles, not to mention the air support or actual naval assets in that area. We do have a number of assets that could deal with that. We do have carriers that would be able to definitely deal a large and devastating blow to Singapore. We just need to get them into position. So speaking of carriers, where are they? So we have the carrier group over here, Akitabutai, and the other carrier group where Faradvao. It's not too far away. I believe I was sending it north, was I? Or was it north to Kyoto? I feel like I was sending it to Osaka/Kyoto. Ah, there we go, okay. Yep, Winter's Touch, so that's the rest of... Right, okay, so we're going to have to relay these orders. Seems to be something of an issue, really, when you load up the game after a certain amount of time. They automatically try to return home. So we're going to set their home port as Osaka. How many divisions are marched on Singapore? Not many, I'd say probably at most 2. And that's probably being far too generous. He's trying to get all the forces concentrated, really. Right. Return over here, that's good. So I want them to return so we can put the proper planes on them and get them loaded out and ready to go. Okay, let's find our other task force. True, a lot of the troops in Singapore will be second line. It's just the amount of guns and the amount of armoured fighting vehicles they have is going to make it rather bloody. Okay. Do I have them all combined? Oh, right, yes I did. Okay, fair enough. We can always divide them up. We did have an indication of a possible carrier down here by... Was it by Brisbane? I think it was around this area that we did have a possible site in. There was a report of a CVE, like a carrier escort, but obviously that's going to be somewhat nebulous. Relevant. So we have transport in the area over here. We do have the landings at Port Moresby. We have been having a lot of issues trying to get Port Moresby, the Port Moresby invasion to go ahead smoothly. Right, so we have the bombardment over here, so we can set that properly. Okay. Bombardment. Okay, set patrol, retirement status, remain on station. Retirement allowed, remain on station. For the love of God, remain on station. Okay, minimum bombardment is 16,000 yards. Does that allow the destroyers to engage? Yes, it does. So they have a range of about 20,000 yards with their guns. Okay. I think we might up that to about 20,000 yards then. Or about, let's go for about 18,000 yards. Plus this is a good middle. I don't want to be too close so we could receive effective return fire, but then I don't want to inhibit the amount of fire I could lay down. Okay, so we have an automatic... Okay. Is this automatic? No, it's human control. Right, okay, so this is the task force kind of supplies, fair enough. Right, they are headed to Port Moresby, that is very good. And these guys over here should really be sent for repair. They do have some supply on board over here though. That destroyer isn't too terribly bad. It's not too terribly bad. We are lacking a certain amount of escorts in the area. We do have a lot of our ships concentrated over here. Though, to be honest, we do have Kitabutai with all its power in the area, so if we keep them somewhat close by, we should be able to maintain sufficient security. Okay, we have a number of submarines in the area too. Obviously not too many in this area, but enough to counter this choke point over here. Okay. Now, in terms of troops, we do have the rest of the division. Did they take off from Kyoto? Sorry, Tokyo. They may very well have done. We do have a number of Naval Guard infantry, though. Their numbers aren't too bad. Just over 1,000. Under 1,000 mainline troops, but still, just over 1,000 in total. Not too many guns, but enough to make it worthwhile. They are intended to be Marines after all. We can make use of them. We'll make use of them in the future. Okay. So we have a decent number of fighters over here. The Ki-27Bs. 13th Sentai Squadron. Right. So we could have them upgrade. Now, can I change the upgrade path? Now, it's a shame because obviously I would rather have these converted to zeros, but obviously because they're a different type of aircraft, we have to go with what we can get. Availability. I could turn off that upgrades, but there's not much point to doing that. We'll keep them for what they are worth right now. Okay, we do have a tanker over here, the Nihon Maru. So we'll have that head into port. Okay. Right, so they're docked. Right, on dock. We'll have that return to Tokyo, in fact. There will be a decent amount of troops over there. Right, we do have a fair amount of enemy submarine activity over here. And the usual activity going on around this area here, the South China Sea. Okay. Right then. The troops on the ground obviously are lacking supplies. We need to find 4th Division. We have A and B elements, but we obviously need the C elements for the 4th Division. So I'm going to look for the ground units. Okay, infantry. Right, AV would be a good way to surge. Right, there we go. A and B. Right, there we go. 4th C. Ah, they actually loaded, okay. Right, load troops. Okay, we're unable to load these. Okay, so it seems like we actually are ready to go. I believe this was done before I went away on holiday, so that's good. I knew I'd done something like that. So we'll have that routed down here then. They can head to Port Moresby. It is going to take them some way to get there. We do have a fair amount of fuel that we can spread out here. The endurance is not too bad at all. Then again, I can reduce... We have these ships carrying a lot of supply. It's not really needed, but I'll keep them just to allow us to put supply out there into the area. The theatre, I should say. Okay. Now in terms of troops, heading towards Singapore. So we have a few thousand troops over here. Not a huge amount. Not quite a full European division or a full German division. But not too far off. How many AFVs do we have over here? We have about 42, which is not too bad. A few thousand more. A couple thousand. Okay. So we have roughly 1 to 2 divisions, something around that region. We do have a few more forces in the north that we can make use of. Right, we do have troops over here. Yeah, we should be able to take that base fairly easily. So we'll have these troops go into a... I imagine they could probably go into a shock attack, but I would rather go... Well, actually, we'll go with a shock attack. If we outnumber them by far, we should be able to take it with absolutely no problems. Right, have them over there. And there we go. These troops do need to have their objective set for Singapore. Then again, we should suppose we could set it over here for Malacca, which it was already set at, so goddammit. Screwed myself. Right, might as well have you start planning for the base down here. And these forces, the same. Should be able to, well, just bypass that base. If there's no garrison, we'll be able to capture it automatically. Okay. In terms of assets in the area, we have a heavy cruiser, light cruiser, and a destroyer over here. I should really have that return. We'll have that return to Saigon. If there's something in the area, we should be able to use the air power to deal with it. It's just the issue, I don't want something large like that, relatively undefended. I'd rather have it in a port, where the port's AA capabilities will come in. Okay. Still need to cover this area. We'll do that in the future. In all fairness, we are covering Pearl Harbor fairly tightly. Wake Island, that reminds me. Okay, you're on bombardment. Just need to get extra troops over there. We do have Marines over here somewhere. Okay. Troops located here. Again, they're lacking in supplies, really. And I should turn steam off. Apologies about that. Okay, it's going to mute steam. Apologies. I always forget to turn it off. Right. So we'll have these troops loaded on board. Dock. So we have a patrol boat here and just a light civilian transport. We just need to add a few more into there. Yeah, it seems we have a large amount of patrol boats. Yeah, I'd need a lot more too. No, actually. It should be doable, I just need a few more transports. 2 is not enough. Then again, we do have these over here, so they already loaded on board. We'll have the ships transferred from over here. Okay, we're unable to dock, fair enough. Anyway, they're heading out, so that's fine. Yeah, supply over here is very low. Supply on Wake Island, how are we doing? Not bad, that should last a decent amount of time. Right. We do have these ships heading over here to continue the bombardment. We did have a bombardment patrol, well, a bombardment force over there, but they obviously need to go back and rearm. Which is the point I need to find them. Alright, here we go. So we cannot dock. So what we'll do then is... what sort of limit do we have here in terms of dock capacity, I'd imagine? Well, I wonder, I should say. Let's see. So we have a couple of ships anchored already, which is probably not helping out the situation. We already have a heavy cruiser here anchored, which is rather interesting. Right, so we have the Yabari. Okay, we'll see if we can anchor the battleship. At least dock the battleship. Okay, transfer that out. Lovely jubbly. There we go, it's now anchored. Okay. So, we'll have minor damage repaired. There's only a little bit. Could definitely do with the rearming process being speeded up. Yeah, the music does get repetitive. It's not bad. To be fair, you just kind of zone out after a while, I'd imagine. Okay. So we'll have you made priority. Only 2 days for the repair. Not bad. Select her from here. Just wanted to take a look at the actual upgrades. The radar is what we really want. So we'll receive that quite later on into the wall. At least in the middle of the wall. Okay, so gonna go ahead and end the turn. It would be ideal if we receive some information regarding carrier location. Righto. So the Port Moresby operation obviously needs the supplies on station, the bloody issues regarding the AI. At least the units have been rather irritating. Yeah, Hong Kong's still British. I've not pressed on that one, to be fair. I'd imagine I could go for an assault, but I'm wary of assaults, really. Aye, I know. Aye, it's the same old predicaments over here in the north. Obviously need to increase the amount of escorts in that area. I could obviously take a few patrol boats from probably right as this tumble. That's good to know then, actually. So we have some allied submarines around the Bonin Islands. Oh, hello. Right, Haruna has hit a mine bed at Hong Kong. We'll have to have her taken out and repaired. Have to expect the damage, really. We should be able to, well, be able to go for the assault on Hong Kong soon, though. Oh, probably next turn if we have the battleships on station as well for the bombardment. Ah. I'd say that's the first time that we've actually seen an allied submarine hit one of our patrol boats. That's rather interesting. That's a pretty damn good shot. Where's one of the east? One of the east will come when it comes. We'll wait for the ground phase, judge Hong Kong, and then probably go for an assault. Obviously, I'll refer to chat, see if you guys agree that an assault would go ahead. I'm fairly wary of assaults up to the debacle on Wake Island. Now, the Dutch East Indies is on the cards. Really what I've been going for is, at the moment I'm trying to secure Port Moresby, which should be secured fairly soon. Then once Port Moresby is secured, we'll go ahead with the Dutch East Indies. Right, what do we have over here? Aye, Palembang, that is a nice area to go for. The idea is to secure Port Moresby, then gather forces there. We have just about 2/3 of the division in that area. Need to get the rest of the division, probably move another couple of divisions into that area and then use that as a springboard. Right, I flame from dying. At the war in China, we've taken some ground, we've taken some losses. Obviously all this is down to inexperience of playing the game, but we are marshalling forces in the north of China. So we're going to basically try and secure the strategic rail lines. I'd say that overall the war is going fairly reasonable. We'll go for Hong Kong then in the following phase. Then that should free up a lot of forces. I do admit I've been far too cautious. Really trying to gather forces in the north there. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, we should be able to take that fairly easily then. It's just I don't want to go for a... I don't know guys, what do you reckon? Would an assault be enough to go through? Okay. What makes me wary is the amount of guns and the amount of vehicles. Red reinforcements are on the way to Manila. I could do with using our assets to actually help in that. The major thing here is that the Japanese forces attack and have a 16th Reconnaissance Regiment. Is that the 6-1 on Hong Kong? Now I imagine we'd be able to go through with something over here at Port Moresby. I just need to get the supplies into the area. We do have a number of actual allied naval assets in the area. Jesus, he did the entire war as the allies. To be honest, Harplunk is absolutely insane. I can't get over how much he plays. I mean, he's a great guy. I've watched some of it. It's just obviously the sheer length of the episodes does make it quite difficult. Great guy though, great guy. Definitely knows what he's talking about. Rightio. I really love that. How long did it take him then to actually finish the Allied campaign? Okay, let's take a look. So Hong Kong then. Where did we have a battleship hit a mine? I thought that was around Hong Kong, but I can't remember sending them there. It's gotta be somewhere. Where are we looking? Okay. Active ships. Right, okay. Assault by battleships. Oh, it's not finished yet. Ah, right, okay. Oh, it's actually landed in Japan. That's pretty impressive. I'll actually have to take a look at that. I mean, I was following it from the start. Oh, yeah, roughly 600 episodes. That's what I mean. It's a long bloody time. Right, Haruna. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Right, so obviously they're returning for repair then. What do you guys reckon? Should we have the battleship group head over here to bombard Hong Kong, or is that too risky regarding the amount of mines in the area? We've already had a hit over here. We should be able to take Hong Kong by an assault though. What do you guys reckon? Assault on Hong Kong? Should that be ordered? So let chat catch up. Aye, it is mined. I'd imagine the minefield is decaying. I don't believe they've been doing much maintenance of that. In fact, I don't believe they've had a chance to do any maintenance. Okay, it's mine, not worth sending the ships. Duly noted. Should we go for the assault then? Do you reckon the 38th Division will be worthwhile? Well, able to do it. I mean, they do have a good amount of artillery support, and they do have a nice, effective assault value there. What is the actual strength of the force? Okay. Assault strength 475. Supposedly they do not have the support required. Do we have any assets in the area that we could have routed there? I believe I did have some troops being sent. Hang on a minute. Ah, right, okay. Right, so we do have a large force over there. Aye, that's true. Fuel and resources. Aye, the Allies is a lot easier due to the fact that you practically do have unlimited resources. And you can play the long war. Indeed. They really ought to go for a more up-to-date, well, a new version of War in the Pacific. I'd imagine the sheer amount of time it would take, though, would be... Then again, they are working on something. I have spoke to them regarding that. Okay. So, guys, assault. Shock, I should say. Do I want the engineers on shock as well, or should I just leave them undeliberate? Yeah, the fortifications are rather nasty. Deliberate. I believe with shock you need to have like a certain... I don't know, you need to have a certain ratio of assault value. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look at the manual again. I do have it on hand actually, just not the time to read it. Well, for it anyway, I've had a quick flip through. I think you need to have some kind of ratio for it to go ahead, otherwise you can suffer horrendous casualties. I will go for a deliberate attack then. Right, keep these on bombard. Okay. So trying to concentrate forces over here in this area. We do have a number of forces concentrated to Kaifeng. A good number of infantry. We are going to be making a push on Changchao. We do have the forces in the area. What I would like to do is remove the Chinese from the position over here and also over here, so they're no longer threatening the strategic line. I mean, the end of 1942 as allies, I never shock attack. Yeah, see, I had a massive issue over here at Wake Island. Now, the game was actually displaying that the forces over here had 0 assault value, but then when we went for shock, they apparently gained assault value, and we were mauled. Quite horrifically. So that was not fun, as you can imagine. Right, we'll have them set up for their bombardment. It's not much, it's only a few guns just to keep up the pressure on them. There's not much in way of reprisal, so we're able to do that. Okay, so we'll have the range set about... we'll go with 18,000 yards, as we previously said, with the other bombardment. Okay. Bombard artillery and from air, until I see that I don't just damage but destroy squads. That's interesting to note. So I'd imagine that would be their, what do you call it? Let's see. Disruption. I suppose once they're so disrupted that they can be destroyed. Okay. Right then. So they should be in the area of Port Moresby in the following turn. So be able to unload actual supplies. I mean, we do have a hell of a bombardment fleet over here. We do have the remnants... Well, we have Kitabutai over here. There's still Australian forces on New Britain. We don't really need to do much about them for a long time. They can be just left to their own devices. As long as we keep Rabaul suitably maintained, we should be fine. Right. Has there been any sightings of anything? Okay, so what do we have over here? 4 ships sighted supposedly. 2 are supposedly transports. I'm likely to believe that due to the sheer amount of transports they've been trying to send through Australian waters. Okay, nothing sighted. We did previously see what was a destroyer among others. Now we are aware of Allied submarine activity around the Bonin Islands. That's definitely something to bear in mind. We also do have Allied submarine activity over here in the north. So what we'll do then in the following session is we'll look through different ports and look for patrol boats that can be sent to that area so we can use them to try and escort the cargoes. I do wish in the automated system you could set like do not leave without such a escort. That would be quite nice. But yes, we'll have to do that in the following session as I frankly do not have time remaining now. So thank you guys for watching. I'm definitely open to hearing suggestions of improving gameplay as well as the viewing experience. It's been a little while since I recorded, so I'm trying to get back into it again. So until next time guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Until next time, goodbye.